Happening now, Hoffa trial, take 2 in county court. A woman busted for prostitution by Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies.
And I'm Dakota Hunter in the First Defense Weather Center. We're watching another winter storm that's going to come our way. It's actually going to pass to our southeast, but it is going to throw some measurable snow our way. We'll break down what we're expecting next.
I'm Ryan Hedrick at the Phone Zone Sports Desk. Rob Gronkowski's home is robbed during the Super Bowl, and what a finish between West Virginia and Oklahoma, 2 ranked teams laying it all on the line. Those stories and more in sports next.
That's News Now for Tuesday, February 6th, 2018.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Justin Gould. A man accused of trying to kill a Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputy is being tried again following a highly publicized mistrial last year. The Post-Journal is reporting that David Foley has refused to grant another mistrial in the Justin Hoffa case, even though the DA's office withheld information in regard to a medical visit by a sheriff's deputy. Hoffa's attorney, public defender Ned Barone, said information not being shared with him defeats his client's right to a fair trial. Jurors will return to work today. And the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office has charged a woman with running a prostitution business out of her house. 35-year-old Amy Figueroa was ordered to appear in court after an investigation revealed she was selling sex from her Nichols Avenue residence for several months. Sheriff Joe Gerasi says the internet has diversified the world's oldest profession.
Well, I would be naive to think that it isn't occurring. But we don't have, I wouldn't say a tremendous number of reports of it or investigations into it, but in this world, I mean, it's very possible that there is more going on than what was brought to our attention. Well, there are a lot of forums that this can take place in electronically, social media, things like what you're talking about and others that. And then you've got the whole issue of the dark web and many, many avenues now for
According to the New York Times, Atlanta, Miami, and Seattle have the top 3 markets for sex trade in the United States, with a combined $600 million a year. Chautauqua Institution's Massey, Oregon recently sustained water damage from melting snow. The president of the institution made that announcement in a letter last week, stating water damage caused to the Massey, Oregon's Ivory keyboards, stops, and console for the instruments. Communications Director Jordan Steves telling regional media the damage was found in a routine inspection of the organ. It appears that a leak from the melting snow made its way through a protective coating. Steves said experts have examined the organ over the weekend. They believe that the computers and other systems, including the pipes, should be okay. The organ is currently 111 years old. And now we check in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by with a first look at our weather. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, good Tuesday, everybody. And man, we've got something that is a-coming for the middle of the week. Let's go straight on to Doppler vision. And it doesn't look impressive right now. It is this area right here. There's a low pressure area out here, and it's right over Huntsville, Alabama right now. And this is ultimately part of that system that's going to be coming our way today and, well, pretty much tonight going into tomorrow. So in the wake of that, the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch for areas eastward. It's not in effect for our areas right now. Let me just kind of scooch my little computer out of the way. And so you can see right here that they don't have it issued yet for the western areas, but they may end up extending this watch over in our area, or maybe even an advisory. You can see down here in Erie County, PA, they do have a winter weather advisory up for that, and that is for that entire system that is out near the Tennessee Valley. It is going to be a booking, and it's going to be coming our way, throwing some snow. And of course, we'll talk about snowfall totals here in just a couple of minutes. So the forecast for today, chance for a few snow showers throughout the day. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy, but the temperatures do come up a little bit. 22 in the valleys, 27 at the Lake Erie shoreline with a west wind of 7 to 12 miles per hour. So not a bad day out there today, but yeah, this all changes tomorrow. We'll break down that full storm and that quick solution 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Dakota, thank you. The average retail gas price in New York State rose more than a penny last week to $2.76 per gallon, according to AAA. Spokesman Jim Garrity says generally our area doesn't see much fluctuation.
New York doesn't, the entire state doesn't see major fluctuations week by week, and Jamestown oftentimes holds the same gas price. I don't know if you've noticed that at the pump, but it seems from our end, the figures we get in, that it seems to be pretty steady. So it's not like Jamestown to see major increases and major decreases. And in terms of whether or not it's going to steadily go down or steadily go up, that remains to be seen.
The state's average gas price as of Sunday was almost 10 cents higher than a month earlier and almost 30 cents higher than 1 year ago. Over the past 5 years, New York State's gas prices have ranged from about $2 a gallon in 2016 to almost $4 a gallon in 2014. Next, New York State lawmakers propose a new packaging mandate for Tide Pods, and later a historic decision by Best Buy. We'll let you know what it is when we return.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's you're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Do news like no one else. Investigations that get results.
There was a bunch of kids over here playing football, and the ball kicked over onto her. She picked it up and took a butcher knife, stabbed it. Cops wouldn't do nothing.
WNY News Now investigates, standing up for you while holding the powerful accountable. If you have a problem, we're here to help. WNY News Now. WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333.
Two New York State lawmakers are calling for a state law to require new packaging for laundry detergent pods following the dangerous trend of people eating them. State Senator Hollyman and Assemblywoman Samotos, both New York City Democrats, proposed this mandate earlier today. They say the state could lessen the risk of poisonings by prohibiting packaging that makes the pods look like candy. The Tide Pod Challenge is an internet trend showing people putting small laundry detergent pods in their mouths and then posting those videos online. Tide has recently started a campaign to warn people of the dangerous trend and the danger of eating the pods. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced a new budget amendment to help address New York State fentanyl crisis. The 30-day budget amendment will allow 11 fentanyl analogs to be added to the state's controlled substances schedule. Now, previously, a loophole in the current state law has kept those fentanyl analogs off the schedule. The amendment will also allow the state's health commissioner to add any new drugs added to the federal schedule to be on the state schedule. According to Cuomo, the number of fentanyl-related deaths in New York have increased almost 160% in 2016. French fries may not be good for your waistline, but they're certainly good for your hairline. Japanese scientists say they found a new treatment for hair loss. According to a paper published in the Journal of Biomaterials, scientists were able to regrow hair in mice using the method. According to Newsweek, the method uses the same type of silicone used by some fast food restaurants. The silicone is often added to French fries to prevent frothing, and that chemical helped scientists mass produce hair follicle germs, a key ingredient in hair growth. Now, research does suggest that the same method will be just as successful as when it's used on people, although, Dakota, that seems kind of scary. They have silicone in French fries? What?
Now, your first defense forecast with Dakota Hunter.
Could be worse. You could be eating rubber.
That's true.
Yeah, you know those plastic ones that come in those play sets, the plastic French fries and the plastic burgers? Yeah, that could be worse. And I have a lot to say about that Tide Pod story, but I won't because it'll definitely get me into trouble. Let's go into the Sky Vision Camera Network. You're looking live at Olean from the Chamber of Commerce building in downtown Olean. The temperatures there not too bad. It's 18 degrees with a dew point of 12, but with that west wind at 10 miles per hour, that is creating a wind chill index of 6 above zero. And of course, this camera is going to look a whole lot different come tomorrow when we're going to be watching that winter storm. On to Lynx 1, and first of all, we'll take a look again at the watches and warnings. So once again, a winter storm watch is currently in effect for areas eastward. That would include, obviously, Cattaraugus, Allegheny counties, and areas off to the east and north. But for the westernmost counties, nothing yet. We are in contact with the Weather Service to see what they're going to do with this, but they may either extend this winter weather advisory that is also in effect for Erie County, Pennsylvania. They may extend this over, or they may extend this winter storm watch over. And this winter storm watch goes until 4 a.m. on Thursday, and that is for that deepening storm system that's out near the Tennessee Valley. It is going to be a bookend up the East Coast, and even though we're going to be on the better side of it, so to speak, it will be throwing some snow. And again, here it is here. It's this big L that is spinning around right now that is right over Huntsville, Alabama. This is part of it, and it's going to take a beeline right up the northeast coast, and it's going to be staying to our southeast, but it's still going to be throwing some pretty significant snowfall. In fact, all these red arrows is the projected storm track, and you can see it's well off to our southeast, but it will be throwing snow. Now, obviously, the worst part of a storm is the eastern part, so while we're going to be on the western ends, it's not going to be as bad, but it will be throwing some snow. So we want to give you the first defense on everything that we are expecting for this winter storm tomorrow. So the storm system that is currently across the Tennessee Valley right now will move across the northeast tonight, tomorrow, and going into Wednesday night. The center of this storm is going to remain well to our south and east, but we're going to be on the west side of it, and the west side is quote unquote the good side. But even on the good side, we're still going to see some pretty good snowfall out of this. The snow will start early in the day on Wednesday in the southern tier, then it will start to expand northward throughout the day, and this is not going to be a long-lasting issue. This is only going to be a Wednesday problem. It'll start to taper off Wednesday night going into the wee morning hours of Thursday morning, and the snow total range, this could change, but this is what we've got. A general 5 to 9 inches of snowfall across the westernmost counties, and then once you go eastward, the totals go up because you'll be closer to the storm center. So we'll talk about those totals in just a minute. But first, let's break down the forecast zone by zone tomorrow, because this is going to be the biggest piece of it. It's going to be determined on your location, determined on how much snow you're going to get. The temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 20s tomorrow. There's going to be widespread snow starting in the southern tier first, then spreading northward. Probably down in our direction, 4 to 7 inches daily accumulation tomorrow with a healthy east wind of 6 to 15. Then as you go eastward into Cattaraugus County, the totals will go up because you'll be closer to the storm center, relatively closer. So the totals, do expect some more totals in to the eastward. Here we go with Future Scan on your screen, and you can see pretty much for today, clouds. Some of it will break apart today going into tonight, but take a look at what happens as we go throughout the night tonight and going into tomorrow. Here comes the leading edge of it, throwing snow first, southern tier, then it will start to work its way northward. Now this model only goes out so far, so this is tomorrow morning, and you can see a widespread general snow. This is not going to be a localized event. It is going to be widespread. The darker blues to purples indicate heavier snowfall rates, and again, the snow totals are going to vary depending on where you are. And talking about the totals, here we go. This is from the in-house Vipercast model, and this is what we're pretty much, and I think this is pretty much showing pretty much what we're expecting here. 5 to 9 inches down around Jamestown's direction. Once you go up toward Dunkirk, 5 to 7. As you work northward, the totals do taper off. So 5 to 7 around Dunkirk, 4 to 7 around Buffalo, 2 to 4 around Niagara Falls. But take a look at up around Rochester. See 8 to 13 inches around Rochester going out into Wayne County. Winds coming off Lake Ontario, lake effect. So areas pretty much around Rochester going out to the east, add lake effect, totals will be bumped up. And also take a look at this down in the eastern southern tier out toward Olean, going out into central New York, the totals come up because of the proximity to the storm center. So again, pretty shovelable, but again, it's not as bad, but it will be a shovelable, plowable snow that we're going to be going through. 18 at the airport right now, wind chill is 6 when you combine it with that west wind at 10 miles an hour, and 5-mile visibility there because of the light snow that's falling. Metrocast for today, 1 o'clock, around 22 degrees. Clouds will still be around for today, but I think pretty much all the snow that we have is going to pretty much taper off. Around 5 o'clock, 20 degrees, a few breaks in the cloud cover leading to probably mostly cloudy skies, maybe a few peaks of sun possible, and around 9 o'clock, 17 degrees, and light winds. We won't have a wind. Very big wind either. Next 7 days of your life coming at you. Brought to you by Quick Solutions. And there you see 27 as an average high for tomorrow. And then 24 on Thursday. And then as we expand out the rest of that forecast, the 20s stick around until the weekend before we go back up into the 30s for the weekend and also part into early next week as well. But we do see some partly sunny skies on Monday as well. So that's going to feel nice compared to all that snow that we've had.
Max, give us a little break at the
Yes.
end of we see the light at the end of your
Gotta wait
Saturday.
till next week. Well, you know, we gotta go through winter, snow, but hey, sunshine.
I just changed my wiper blades yesterday. They broke off from the frigid, so I'm prepared.
Yes.
Prepared. Hopefully you are too. Thank you, Dakota.
You're welcome.
We'll look at that 7-day one more time at the end of the broadcast. But next in sports, more info on a Patriots home that was robbed during the Super Bowl. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I have.
And college basketball's top 25, a great finish. You'll have to see for yourself coming up.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com. Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook.
The team that puts coverage first. We have some breaking news. Police confirming now that Steve Stevens was found dead in Erie, Pennsylvania.
His house is on fire and it's dangerously close to the Appleyard Terrace.
Fire crews battling another blaze.
Needs to be treated as the terrorist act that it is.
He got the ball, he just went to the hoop and he shot it.
And as for the star of the show, Tucker Pierce,
I think I feel good.
Proceeds from the Battle of the Classes going to the Alex Folk Foundation.
50 years of service and dedication to anything is very impressive. Put your lives on the line for your neighbors.
It's just something that I think people should do. You have to give back to the community.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at PhoneZoneShop.com.
From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's a look at what's trending in Western New York. The suspect in the drunk driving death of NFL star Edwin Jackson was in an Indianapolis courthouse Tuesday, but his hearing was canceled. Police say the Indianapolis Colts linebacker and his Uber driver were struck and killed in an accident early Sunday morning. They say the suspect was twice deported in the past. It's been a rough week for Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski. First, his team, the New England Patriots, lost to the Eagles on Super Bowl Sunday. Then he returns to find his home in Foxborough burglarized. Police are investigating the matter. There's been no comment from Gronkowski. What a game between two ranked opponents on Monday night. Let me take you to Oklahoma, where the Sooners were squaring off against West Virginia. Here comes Trae Young off the top of the backboard, literally off the top of the backboard for two. What a difficult way to get a bucket. That touched every conceivable angle on the backboard and dropped in. Here we go, time winding down, 5 seconds left to go. Trae Young underneath, and his man bobbles it. Can't get the layup to fall, and West Virginia escapes with the victory over Oklahoma in Oklahoma. What a character win by the Mountaineers. Former defensive coordinator for the Patriots, Matt Patricia, has been hired by the Detroit Lions. And the St. Bonaventure Bonnies get back to work against St. Louis on Wednesday, preparing for a big game on Saturday against Richmond. Two big games for the Bonnies could propel them in the A-10 standings this week. From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, I'm Ryan Hedrick. It all unfolds here.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. Like great food, great news needs experts. Become a community reporter when you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about. Drop us a line on Facebook today. Speaking of great food, Jeremy's Bellevue offers pasta, classic burgers, seafood, and of course, wings. Visit Jeremy's Bellevue on Facebook. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to News Now. Did you ever think you'd see a day where you could buy vinyl records, but not compact discs? Well, according to Billboard, that's what you'll find at Best Buy starting this July. The retailer reportedly plans to pull all CDs out of its store by then. The once commonplace digital music format is getting hammered in the U.S. right now. CD sales were down 18.5% last year, and some experts pin Best Buy's CDs receipts to just $40 million annually. But in an interesting twist, the store is committed to carrying records for at least the next 2 years, after they say the vinyl format has been enjoying a resurgence. You're also likely to see fewer CDs at Target stores in the coming months. Executives there are reportedly insisting they will only pay music companies for discs that they sell rather than buying them in bulk up front. And upwards of 140 countries are observing Safer Internet Day today. According to European SchoolNet, this year's theme is to create, connect, and share, respect. A better internet starts with you. What a slogan. It's an innovation to foster positive digital experiences for everybody out there on the internet, especially for younger users. That does make sense. This is the 15th consecutive year of Safer Internet Day, which began under the European Commission's Safer Internet program. Interesting. You do see that in a lot of schools. They got like their firewalls set up to try to help kids.
Or if you went to Jamestown like I did in my senior year, which was during the Civil War. In my
you guys were using the telegraph.
Yeah.
Hello. Just a cut. I don't even know if that's how the telegraph works. So, Morse code, is that the
Morse
telegraph?
code. Beep, beep,
Right,
beep,
okay,
beep,
okay.
beep,
So they didn't
beep,
even
beep,
talk. It was just doot, doot,
Yeah.
doot, doot, doot. Okay.
Actually, as a cool little thing, my Twitter handle is @HuntersWX, by the way. A lot of people ask me, what does the WX mean? Well, that's the old telegraph shorthand sign for
weather.
So if you ever, so back in the oldie days of telegraph, which was during my time, during the days of telegraph, if you wanted to send a weather report or something relating to weather, you would type out Morse code WX. And people knew that a weather report was coming down the line.
We use that to label everything here, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, we never type out the word weather. It's like first WX.
And actually, it's still used
nice.
today.
Nice shorthand.
I mean, it's still used today in news, and it's still used in social media because it's a great hashtag, like NYWX, New York weather. And, it's just a great way to shorten weather, so we're not having to type New York weather out or weather or whatever.
Really interesting about the CDs report.
Yeah, what's a CD, by the way?
You know what a record is?
Yes.
But not a CD.
I'm just kidding.
He's
I know
just
what
kidding.
a CD
He knows it.
is.
We're 90s babies, right? So, CDs were my jam. I would collect them. When I got my first car, I had a whole, one of those big things of CDs you would just go through.
We still have them in our car.
At a red light, and you would go in and put them in. I probably should have been doing this at a red light. They say you're not supposed to, look away. But I would, change out the CDs real quick. How fast could you change it?
Yeah. Or if you're like my family, if the CD skips while you're going down the interstate at 65 miles an hour, you take the disc out and throw it out the window.
Really?
When it skips.
Interesting though about the vinyl. My sister, in her senior year of high school, got a record player for her Christmas. That was her request, and she would order new music on record, which was way more expensive than downloading it on iTunes or buying a CD.
Well, actually, vinyl has a very unique sound. It does.
Yeah, that's probably
and
why.
My
it's
parents
hip,
grew
yo.
up. I mean, my parents grew up in the age of vinyl, and they would much prefer. As a matter of fact, my parents still have a vinyl collection, and they still have a record player and the stereo in the dining room. Yeah. Yeah, we have an old turntable that sits in the cabinet that our stereo sits in the dining room, and they still have a record player.
We could come over to your house and listen to some Sinatra.
I think we might have a couple Sinatra.
We'd have
Sinatra.
to Sinatra.
Old Snotgrass, that's what my dad called him. Snotgrass.
We did have a weather question that you
Yes.
might want to answer. Gary wants to know what would happen if tomorrow's storm would move more west.
Good question. Let's route links 1, and we'll take a look at that very quickly. Now, this is the projected storm track right now, all those red arrows tracking off to our south and east. Now, there is room that this track could jog. So if it jogs further to the west, our snow totals will be bumped up. If it tracks further to the east, then the impacts will be less. Again, again, the worst impacts of a storm is always felt near the center. So the more closer to the center you get, the more snow you can see. The further away from the center you are, the less amount of snow you'll see. So the bottom line is, if it jogs to the west, the impacts will be greater. If it jogs a little bit to the east, then the totals will be bumped down. So that is pretty much how that works.
And of course,
with the storm track.
we'll of course have full coverage of it
Yes.
throughout the rest of the week. Unfortunately, Dakota won't be here.
Yes, I'm going to be
You have a couple
off.
personal days, but
Yeah, I'll be off for the rest of the week. But
there'll be
we'll
another
have-
dashing weatherman filling
Yes.
in for him.
We'll have somebody who's wearing a green shirt who cannot wear a green shirt when they get
That's
out.
why
on
I
that
wore
weather
this
wall.
today. Get it out of the way.
Yep.
Got red tomorrow.
Yes.
I'll
you
pop
can't-
out.
You can't wear green when you do the weather. But
It'll be
anyway,
fun.
let's
go back and
let's
look at
route
that
links one
7 day.
more time, and let's take a look at that Quick Solution 7-day forecast. So pretty much for today, 24 degrees will do it as an average high. 27 for tomorrow. That's when that winter storm starts to come in early Wednesday morning through Wednesday night, and then the temperatures in the 20s for the remainder of the week until the weekend and early next week when we go into the 30s.
Alrighty, Dakota, thank you very much. Of course, our friend is out tomorrow, as we just said, but I'll be in for him, and someone will be in for me. It'll be a mystery.
We'll have a robot.
We're pulling him out of the archives, and it's not James Reed. So there you go.
Oh.
Maybe you'll figure it out. Wiping the dust off. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, sir. That's it for us today. Be sure to join us right back here tomorrow. News, of course, continues 24/7 at Jamestown's #1 website, most visited website in our area code, WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.
I'll see you Monday.